past supper when I came for the breakfast. Put me in your prayers, I might put you on the guest list. Young niggas in me reckless, gold in my soul, got the same on my necklace, bitch. My soul got the same on my necklace, bitch.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome. It is round number 4 of the Apex and Chill Thursday League. We are now live here, the Autodromo Enzo e Dino Ferrari for the next round of the championship. It's almost a 5-kilometer circuit with warmer temperatures here in Italy, just south of Bologna, so not too far away from the birthplace of Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Move our way into the next sequence of this qualifying session. Yeah, we're in for a really exciting night of racing. My name is Adam Reid, and I'll be taking you through all of the action here live on Apex and Chill Racing. As I say, we'll be in for a really exciting night. So we come off the back of a very strange, I wouldn't say strange, but it was definitely a chaotic run at Laguna Seca. It doesn't feel long at all, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. Laguna Seca does not feel like a week ago. That feels like about 4 days ago, in all honesty. But we have returned. We have returned into Europe. This should be a really good race. Of course, looking at the calendar so far this season, we started our season off at Interlagos for the first round of the championship. Then we headed to Fuji, and then we headed to Laguna Seca for the third round. Then it's the fourth round, we head to Imola before we will then head to Daytona, and then Lusail, Spa, Hota, Silverstone, and then a to-be-confirmed track with Le Mans being the circuit that will round off the season on the 1st of October. What an incredible run we have. Not long left of practice then, as we will then go into our qualifying session. Everyone gets transported back to the garage, and the 15 minutes of qualifying will get underway then. Just a moment's time. We'll also go through some of the standings once the timer hits green. And there you can already see one of the CLX liveried cars of Yakir Rokash, who exits the pit lane, finished his highest place second in Fuji. So he'll be hoping to put in a good result as he now exits pit lane then. And his LMP2 will head out of the blocks, and he'll go for a fast lap then. He's got the outlap to tick down first before then going in towards the next sequence, which will be, of course, next sequence of corners. But it is, in terms of the LMP2 championship, it is Tom Mould at the top of the standings with 2 second places and a win, and on 73 points. Then we've got Niels Hindenberger in P2. Got Gene Quinn third, David Weatherson in fourth. They're separated, in fact, second to fourth, separated by 3 points. Not too bad is them. Then we've got Yakir Rokash on 74 points. He's joined with Tim Patrick and Alan Axon, with Chuck Ritalik and Dan Reid. Barry Weatherson and Ilian Voltert in P11. Mattia Bagliolini in P12, and William Baggio in 13th. So the two at the bottom there have not competed in a race so far. Hopefully maybe fixed at some point, but we do have quite the grid for the LMP2, but it seems like the LMP3 LMGT3 we will have are going to be the big kind of group that we have. You know, so many of those cars out on the circuit. We now see Yakir Rokash going for his first timed lap out of Tamburello corner. And he'll head his way on towards the Villeneuve chicane, named after the late great Gilles Villeneuve we lost in 1982 at Zolder. So what a driver he was back in his time. But overall, it just shows kind of how some of these legendary drivers are kind of inaugurated into this circuit. Down in towards the next sequence here of Piratella, then you head down the hill towards Acqua Minerale. Now we're getting an onboard shot here of what these LMP2s have to go through. It's such a difficult braking in towards Acqua Minerale, but it comes at you so quickly. You've just got to kind of know what you're doing and react to it before then hitting over the chicane of Grassini, through the right, through the left, cranking on some of the lock before then powering it all the way through, going through the revs and on towards turn 16 and on towards 17 before then heading downhill of Rivazza. You slam on the brakes, get the car rotated in. It's one of the hardest ones, hardest corners on the circuit to get through, and then really riding the curb through turn 19, and that is your exit and on towards the start line. Jaakko Rokash will lay down the marker here, and it will be what seemingly is going to be a 136.139 from Rokash. Axon will go a little bit faster with a 35.8. Now we switch to one of our LMGT3s then, Andy Winters, my apologies, in the Lexus. So he'll look to maybe progress, I'd say, after a tough round at Laguna Seca. It just wasn't quite his round. Still leads the championship though, and does come up with a second place. But yeah, he was very much somebody who was really having to work hard and really be able to make his way strongly with a podium. We know how quick he is, but it just, it wasn't one of those easier fights. That was won by Josh Christie in his Mercedes. So it just seemed like the Mercedes were definitely one of those that really was able to claim the Seca circuit. So we'll see if that becomes a similar sign as we see Michael Woods in the Kessel Racing Ferrari. He's just heading now towards the Villeneuve chicane, and he'll hop and skip and he'll jump over there and try and push on forwards. Woody sitting 11th in the standings, took a second top 10 of the season so far, so a really good effort from him. 16 points for his season's total. Jaakko Rokash 133.5 in the LMP2, so strong lap there from him as they continue to build in terms of momentum. There goes, I believe that is into second place at Dan Reid, I believe. Let me just get a first name quickly. It is Dan Reid in P9. So good stuff there from Dan to put himself onto the front row. I think that was the number 43. Badgel going to fourth place. So he'll be on the second row. Andy Winters 144.2. There goes the number 30 of Weatherston into second place. Looks like Dan Reid is purple, but we'll keep an eye on the LMGT3 standing, because I've just seen Josh Christie go to second place actually. Dan Reid is looking strong here, but he's been overtaken by one of the other Weatherstons. I believe that's David Weatherston, who's just gone to P3 there. So a little bit of a mistake there. David Weatherston P2, Barry in P3. Dan Reid will now make his way down towards Rivazza corner. Let's ride on board with Dan Reid because I want to go through this corner, because this downhill section, it's so hard to get on the brakes, and you'll just see the amount of lock he puts onto that LMP2. But Dan Reid looking super quick. He will need a good result. He took a podium last time out at Laguna Seca and will want to continue this momentum. He moves his way over the line and goes second fastest, 33.0. How close is that to Jaakko Rokash? Rokash must be in the 32s at this point. For Rokash. So a really strong time there is the return of the Verstappen Red Bull Racing car. Because we saw the Decra logos on it last time around, and it is a very strong livery, but I don't think it's kind of the exact livery. It's kind of the mishmash of the two. So again, another one of those where I haven't quite done my homework but it's very similar. Here comes Christie then over the timing line. Will he be able to get a good time on the board from the second row? Does he go above any of the Corvettes? No, track limits was the downfall there for Josh Christie, but he'll continue to push on because we know that Mercedes is really quick. Once again, down in towards the Villeneuve chicane. Corvette R. Palella we're right on board with in the Corvette purple sector. Let's have an on-board shot with him from inside the car, because we've got a really interesting sequence of circuit. We're going down here in towards Piratella. Now, for Acqua Minerale, like I said, it's a really difficult section. You've got to keep yourself over to the left-hand side, use the curve, brake, and then turn at the same time, which is not what the car wants to do. And you've got to try and just hook it onto apex of 12 and then straight line 13. That's how you do it into Acqua Minerale. It's just that braking and turning, because you're putting so much force on the car, and it's just something the car doesn't react to really well, because the best way you're efficiently braking a race car is you have to be straight on. So even if there's a little bit of a corner, you've just got to be focusing on doing it straight on, and that's another corner. Ravazza, you've got to try and maybe use a little bit of a wide corner, then make sure you're braking straight, and then hammer on the brake pedal. Use all of the efficiency of your pedal, then it will allow you to be braking later and be able to take the corner quicker. We now see Palella going to P2, 43.8 there for him. Purple in the last sector, so showing some strong signs is that Corvette as he makes his way into Tamburello once again. 10 with that hundreds of a second off Andy Winters, showing some really good pace for the Corvette. What's still circulating out there at the moment in time. Board with Rafael Figueiredo in the other Corvette, so two Corvettes in the field. Then down through turn 19, really using the exit curb. Can he put himself close to his manufacturer teammate Figueiredo, now making his way over to the timing beam? Will he be able to improve his position from the third row of the LMGT3 field? No, he doesn't. So that's going to be a little bit of a frustration there for Figueiredo. And now we'll have to see if the Alexis continue to push on well. David Weatherston in that kind of Scotland football kits livery, going even faster, 131.7. So track is now at peak temperature, I'd say, with Yakir Rokash currently in second place. Then we've got Barry Weatherston still sitting in third place for now. And Adam Reid, who was the early pace setter, now finds himself over 7/10 of a second adrift from Dean. You just hear that V8 crackling away. It looks like there's Haskins in the garage we saw momentarily. We now look back with our LMGT3 field. We do look to the Corvette there of Rafael Figueiredo, trying to use as much of the curb as he possibly can, but down towards Ravazza once again. And I know that I will at some point get a mix-up between Ravazza and Piratella. Piratella is turn 9 and 10, Ravazza is turn 18, so you can definitely slate me for that if I forget, as we move on to Alan Axon, who's spinning around like a ballerina. Maybe he should be part of a dance group then. His pirouettes are brilliant. The AO Racing car will then move on forward. See if we can get a better lap in with less than 3 minutes left to go. Just hear that V8 naturally aspirated LMP2 just humming away. There's going to be Bajor going off the road. He's gone into the barrier. Down at Piratella, parked it on the outside. Turns to the garage, the Inter-Europol car, that officially came from a bakery, did you know? Is Patrick, 7th at the moment in that number 25, moving his way down in towards Acqua Minerale. More aerodynamics on the LMP2 compared to the LMGT3, which you saw. But again, it's still very, very difficult. I think the only thing that doesn't find that difficult, I would say, the Formula One car, and even then it's just the braking. But yeah, acceleration goes wrong there for Patrick, and then he will look to now just get himself set up for a lap. But I think he's got a it says there's a GT3 near him, but strange one. Very much to producer telling me it's basically a private qualifying session. Nobody out there on their screens. They're kind of having their own little runs. So I actually didn't know that about LMU. You actually do that so you don't, interrupt drivers. Here goes Michael Woods. He's going to go past the stricken Inter-Europol that of course got transported back to the pit lane. Now Michael Woods really pushing on. He's just on the outskirts of the top 10. That looks like Craig Needham in 12th, and Chesterton, who I don't think are going to be out at the moment. They haven't set lap times as far as I'm aware. In towards Ravazza through the left-hander to get the power on, but doesn't use all of the X's there on the right-hand side. So off of T19, he's going to make his way into the pit lane as like Elias Assad goes to 9th. Now, Elias Assad has had a little bit of troubles over the course of this season. Had a bit of a torrid finish in Fuji, and Laguna Seca finished 6th in that second race of Laguna Seca, but it's still one way, maybe living to hope to try and get through. From there, from number 25, then Patrick sits 6th in the Drivers' Championship, 47 points. That is the end of this qualifying session then. We'll look to be David Weatherston on pole position, Yakir Rokash in P2 with Barry Weatherston and Will Bajor in P4. Dan Reid will be alongside Alan Axon with Tim Patrick and Chuck Retalick in P7 and 8. Then it will be an all Lexus front row for the LMGT3s with Ben Oliver topping above Andy Winters. Roberto Palela will be in P11 with Josh Chrissy in 4th. For the LMGT2, Rafael Figueredo and Lena Shearer in what will be 5 and 6. P7 and 8, Dennis Van Eyck and Matt Haskins with Elias Hassad and Michael Woods in 10th. And then we've had a lap there from Glyn Chesterton and Craig Needham, who's not racing tonight. So that will be the 19 cars that will take to the grid here at Imola for the Thursday midweek racing league session. So we now wait for the grid up of this one. Of course, Glyn Chesterton has done all 3 races with us so far. Did not start in the opening round of the championship, but Interlagos, but then finished 11th and 12th. So he'll be hoping for a top 10 or a survival, because he is the 11th car. So unless things go terribly, terribly wrong, then he should be putting himself in a really, really good spot. We now wait for the cars to grid up. You can see where your favorite driver is at the bottom of the screen. For these cars to get moving. I'm really looking forward to seeing what this circuit has to offer, because it has offered some really good races. You know, you've seen on the likes of maybe iRacing or F1 or even LMU, you know, you get a real good class of racing, and even multi-class. This is going to be an interesting one. I feel like it's going to be similar to maybe Laguna Seca, where trying to get past it's going to be really tricky. And it's going to be mentally fatiguing, I think, for these drivers. An hour 15 in these race cars alone, going to be quite the journey. You're doing more than a GT World Challenge and a sprint race stint. Probably doing maybe one of those 3-hour endurance. Get the call then from the race control to say the lap is now underway, and Dean Weatherston will lead them from the front. Rocash in the CLX Motorsport car, the team from Switzerland, will be there on the outside lane. What about the Inter-Europol car of Will Bajor? Can he do something about his position down there? He's, of course, not had any prior experience, no races with us so far, but he joins the grid for this race here in Imola. We get 1 hour and 15 minutes on the clock. It has just gone past half 2 in the afternoon here in Imola. We wait for the cars to roll to the start line then, and then we will get going for round 4 of the Apex and Chill Racing League. We drop the green, we go racing here in Imola. Decent start there from the front 2 rows. There's going to be a little bit of jostling going on, but I think Weatherston with that inside line, he's got to show a little bit of confidence going in toward the first corner. Looks like Bayor is going to try that outside line on Barry Weatherston. He manages to get away with that one. Dean Weatherston will lead us away in the 8-car field in the LMP2s. Through they head in toward the Villeneuve chicane, and then they'll head their way on towards Tozer, the long left-handed hairpin. You see there, oh, there's a car off already. That's going to be Tim Patrick in the all-black LMP2. It's a Lexus 1-2 with Andy Winters and Ben Oliver, the better mates in terms of off the track, but on the track they're going to be hard rivals with each other. And it looks like we've had a bit of a loss for one driver. I think the Mercedes of is that going to be Josh, we've lost at some point. Yeah, Christie's had a bit of a moment, so he's dropped right to the back here. Look at Will Bajor trying to warm up his tyres in his number 43 Inter-Europol competition car. He's got Barry Weatherston all right behind him, and even then, Dan Reid will look to try and attack him in the Iron Lynx Proton number 9 car. So you'll have a look down in towards Piratella. Say Ravazza. Again, I'm going back to the computer. It is Ravazza. Hallelujah. I managed to get it right this time around, thanks to the track map. But now it's going to be a big tow here for Barry Weatherston. They start lap 2 of this race. Looks like Dean will get that fastest lap initially, but now we'll see Barry Weatherston trying to attack to the outside lane. This is going to be a real show of Will Bajor racing racecraft, because he hasn't raced with any of these guys this season. So some will have improved. Some may have had a bit of a loss due to the update that would happen a couple of weeks ago. You're just seeing that line of 4 down in towards Tozer. That's going to continue to do wonders throughout the majority of this race. This was Christie then, side by side, backed off in the opening part of the race. Then there was an off from Richards. Oh, just losing the rear, bang into the barrier. Big hits to the front. We'll hope to get going. Let's be transported back to the pits. This was between Dennis Van Eyck and Michael Woods. So Woods on the outside in that Ferrari, inside in the Porsche. Eyck a little bit of a rub with Michael Woods. Less, they've had a bit of a change towards the next corner. Now we look to Ben Oliver and Rafael Figueiredo, and this is back to the live action. In fact, we've got another replay. I think this is going to be Figueiredo now. He's in that Corvette of the Oliver Lexus on his left. Oh, there's a little bit of contact there, and that's going to invite the Harter Racing Aston Martin of what I believe is going to be name for you, Elias Sad. Sad is just sitting in the back there. So we now look back to the live action. It's still Weatherstone from Rocat, from Bajor from Weatherstone. Then we find Reid from Acton, from Metallic and Tim Patch. That's your top 8 in the LMP2. Winters from Patella with Shearer in third in that Mercedes. Yellow flag, and it's Elias Assad dropping places in the LMGT3. So I wonder what's happened to him, but we'll keep on tab with this battle between Rokash and Dino Weatherstone, because this is going to be going on for quite a while. This is the first stint of 2 then. He's running on board with the LMP2 driver of Yakia Rokash, who's got the CLX Motorsport skin livery, I should say, on that car. If you don't know where CLX are racing, you're like, they're not in the World Endurance Championship. They're in the European Le Mans Series, racing in the LMP2 class, in the LMP2 Pro-Am class. They have one car in there, one in the Pro-Am. I think they've also got an LMP3 class, because they've won that championship at Silverstone, the round I was at last year. So if you see that LMP3 ELMS car this year, remember that is the current champions of the ELMS LMP3 class. Towards the Villeneuve chicane, it's such a nice sequence, with these LMP2 being a little bit heavy, being a bit of nursing around the circuit. They're going to be taking it quite easy. Andy Winters taking the fastest lap with a 144.8 in the LMGT3. So really showing up in the pace then is Andy Winters. Last conditions for the moment, it definitely seemed like the sun was definitely gleaming, and we got to, when we got to qualify. Now we'll see what happens in the race. If it starts getting a little bit darker, or if it starts a little bit brighter. Is Michael Woods and Matt Haskins, 2 of the Ferrari LMP2 drivers. The twin turbo V6 cars will be going up against each other. So exact same car, different setups, different liveries. So who will be on top in this one? Will it be Michael Woods, or will it be Haskins? Have to see which one comes on top in this one. There is Dean Weatherstone taken over by Barry Weatherstone for the fastest lap, 133.9. So that's just fuel burning off in these cars, and of course tyre getting up to temperature. Oh, we've lost a Ferrari, and it's Michael Woods on the inside of turn number 13. He goes behind Elias Assad. It was just going to be a simple drop of the rear end. Let's have a look down in towards. Yeah, he caught the curb on that inside line. It's a lazy spin and even hits the barrier. So well done to the on that right hand side. They're coming up as yellow. down towards turn number 19 with Matt Taskin. So he's going to be all alone in that one as Ben Oliver goes and takes the fastest lap. And he's now dropped to 4th, in fact, because I think he had that collision earlier with Josh Christie. It'll be really interesting to see what he does now, because we know he's got pace in that Lexus, in that number 78. Just now got to try and chase down that Mercedes and the Corvette of Palella. We've got Rafael Figueredo in P5 as well. There's going to be a lot to contend in that LMP2 GT3. Right on board now with the Mercedes GT3, which has the V8 roaring in the front of that engine. Rocash now passes that 133.3, and that just shows the pace that is constantly evolving. Track conditions are getting cooler, which allows tyres to be pushed more. A moment there from the Corvette ahead, then towards the next sequence of corners, it'll be the chicane, and for Lena Shearer, he's got a big opportunity to go and take a second place. The Mercedes really confident on the brakes, curbs through here, but just because it's such a big vehicle, it allows it to be able to hop and skip and jump through that chicane. I'm sure that the Mercedes should really go well. It's gone round here in Imola previously really well in GT series and other series as well. Expect there to be a really fine run here for Lena Shearer as he chases down Roberto Palella. We make our way on toward the next lap of the race, and he's already just hitting in the toe, but Palella being able to pull away on the straight, so he needs as many corners on this circuit to come to him possible, because you just see there the gain for Shearer was just unbelievable. If he could just keep that flat, then he'll be entering Toza right on his backside. Michael Woods up against Glenn Chesterton. Chesterton, of course, we already spoke about, hasn't been with us for too long in this championship. But he'll look to try and grab a top 10, which is at the moment looking incredibly likely, especially with the retirement of Josh Christie. So so we pretty much lost all the Red Bull fans from this broadcast. So yeah, sorry guys. A bit of a mix that we've maybe lost a viewer or two. My fault. Oh, Michael Woods getting on the grass, and I'll tell you about that, because race cars and grass don't mix. Try and get your road car, put it on some grass, and trust me, it won't really go well. Get in an accident, you didn't hear it from me, okay? Capiche. Oh, someone's had a big accident in the background. That's going to be Yako Rokash, who was chasing down Dean Weatherston. Here we go. For the first time, we're now getting traffic involved. That was a huge accident. Yako Rokash completely caught me off guard. Heading towards Piratella. Oh no, it's a big swapper. Gone, tyre gone. We'll spell the end for Yako Rokash. Not been a good season there for Yako Rokash. I think he's had an incident like that similar before. The results are just going to spell disaster. He'll be overtaken by Tim Patrick as well. The director has just did something. We were just having a conversation. It was Fuji where he had that incident. I believe it was in qualifying. Came through for a P2 in that race. Just see Glenn Weatherston really being caught in the hostel. He is now through. Goes Barry Weatherston. Now Michael Woods should sense an opportunity here, but there's going to be an LMP2 on the outside that he can't be able to get through, but he has to use it to his advantage. Just trying to use that outside line. It was, I believe, Adam Reid. So Michael Woods, of course, unfortunately, losing a little bit of time in that one. He's made a mistake there on the entry towards Piratella and has made the move here on the Ford Mustang. Has Michael Woods. We'll give him a gold star as well. So can someone maybe post him a medal? It's not many times we see this from Michael Woods, and it's another great piece of fantastic driving. Verstappen-esque, but actually not even Max Verstappen can do that. He'll just probably turn up to the Norge lap and get disqualified because the team can't seem to count tyres. Sorry, Max fans. I'm just digging into a 4-time champion in here. But I'm meant to be punning jokes, but of course I'm now going to get cancelled on Twitter, even though I'm not on Twitter. The producer, my producer Lee, but laughing away at me. But yeah, glad he's enjoying all of it. Adam Reid is in towards Tamburello, but a momentarily yellow flag there for Tim Patrick. He was looking pretty solid for a 7th place, but let's have a look here down in towards that's equipment failure. I think that's equipment failure. Yep. I believe that might be pedals. Let me have a look and see if that might be let me just see if that might be a comment going into the chat then. Comment in the Discord chat from Mr. Josh. Great. Lap 1. Someone rode my race. Simple as that. Josh Christie. So we hit an hour into this race. Should be a really solid so far. About 15 minutes has been chaos as usual. Just going to now load up YouTube chat. So, be prepared to eat the praise in the chat or be prepared to absolutely slate me. Or there will be the latter now that I've given the opportunity. As Klinkenberg, best of luck to everyone that is racing today. It's going to be a good watch. It most certainly is. And someone else looking forward to the race as well. Val GT, thank you very much. You can also like, comment, share this broadcast as well. Get as many viewers as we can into the live stream because we're in for some really, really good, maybe some of the best LMU racing out there. That's the game has to offer. Esports ready? I mean, if you guys wanna, guys at Apex and chill, wanna maybe start setting it up, bring out the best GT drivers, maybe seal a couple and put them in there from here. Up into having a kind of show of such a game that has been highly praised in the last year, I should say. Start raging on. It's between Ben Oliver and Lena Shearer. He will allow the 43 to move on through. Will Bajor moves on for a really good 2nd place here, down towards Tamburello corner, and he's got past the Mercedes, which for Ben Oliver, you would be hoping that Lena Shearer would have that LMP2 on his inside line at the apex, just so the Mercedes just can't turn in, and he can maybe nab some more time. But that's a big swapper for Ben Oliver. He was really chopping at the wheel. I think he's now allowing one of the LMP2s to go through. Oh, that's going to be Barry Weatherston on that outside line, trying to carry as much speed as he possibly can to try and continue to catch onto that Mercedes. Have the opportunity down in the link below to support Andy's Man Club. It's men's mental health, I believe. So if you do want to go to the Just Giving page, or if you do want to have a look at, if you want to have a look at that page, please do. It's been helping so much, and our collaboration with them has been very much appreciated. So go and help Andy's Man Club, because they've been absolutely fantastic. So while you're down there, you're going to go and have a look at the official website, where you can also sign up to these races and race with some of the best in the LMU, sphere. Also, join our Discord down if you want to join the community. Some of the best racing you would have seen. We've also got affiliate links we can have a look at, as well as some social medias you can go and follow us at. Let's boost those numbers as much as we can. With the 20 people watching, if you haven't already, give a like to the stream. Josh is, fully on board with that as well. Watching this amazing broadcast with some great racing so far. We've not got the biggest grip, but what I can tell you, it is fun and competitive. Glad continues to push on forward. Barry Weatherston will look to try and see if he can hunt down the Inter-Euro pole car. The yellow at the front, the green at the back. Really outstanding with these colours. Hard on the brakes then for the LMP2. Yeah, battle still continue to be pretty close so far. We're just being able to pace himself, which is exactly what you want to be doing in a endurance race such as these standards, because an hour 15 is a while. It is a while. Watching from the beach in Cancun, Mexico. We've got a viewer who's having a big holiday in Mexico. Thank you very much, Dead Edge Sims, for being part of the YouTube comment section. Every single comment is too much invited. Yes, a sad passes that 144.0. Up to a replay here, Michael Woods, who's had a bit of a moment. Oh, he's got off into a dusty mess. Does he appear back on camera? No, which is a little bit worrying. Riding on board. Oh, he's done the same thing at Rocash. As far as my memory goes, that hit into the barrier does not seem good. He's still moving. It is an absolute miracle, but he's going to have to be very careful. Does it steer? It does steer. Nothing can destroy the Michael Woods, even with a puncture down on the rear right. You can see it sparking away. Oh, he's onto the grass there. Careful, Michael, careful. He stopped on pit entry here, which oh, has he retired? Oh no, I fixed him. Maybe a puncture can beat the inevitable Michael Woods. We get a flag here. Another replay. And that's going to be Glyn Chesterton, who's retired from the race. That's happened in the last minute. Has he had... Oh. Yes, it just seemed like Chesterton has only had a moment. Thank goodness, because Glyn is on for his first top 10 of the season. And he just needs to survive at this rate. Please, Glyn. He just needs to finish this race to qualify for his first top 10 of the season. We're all gonna. If there's one car we're all gonna be behind, it's Glyn at this point. Meanwhile, Louis Shearer, no idea where Louis came from, but Linus is
having an almighty race here with Ben Oliver. Now they've got to be careful because there's two drivers in behind. This is looking like, I think maybe Patrick and Ritalik. You know that Dan Reid is in that AO Racing spike livery. Comes in towards the chicane. They're just going to be split now, and I think that's going to be 44. That's Tom Mould. I haven't seen Tom Mould the whole time, but magically the appear these last couple of moments going to maybe get past the number 7 of Ritalik. He has joined late to the race. Oh, there's our championship leader as well. Can I just say, the peak to be a championship leader and join 4 laps late to the race and still continue to drive is nice. Peaky, I'd say. The bit is going to look to improve over the course of the next 15 minutes. Improving by 26 degrees, or I like to call right now temperatures. Our producer is going to be lifting up his fist after that comment. But, that's going to be the 43, and Glenn Chesterton, it's going to be into the... Wow, he's kicked out of the barrier. Pause, ladies and gentlemen. On earth has he done that? Oh, don't hit that LMP2, please. It's been a disaster. That is that's gonna be Will Bajor. Will Bajor from second place. Weatherston 1-2 is the Obsidian Racing of Trip Ritalik, passing away with an LMP3, losing terribly. I'm surprised I haven't been safe in chat yet. We're what are we now? We're 30 minutes into the race. How they went in. Bajor. Bajor had at that chicane. Charles Leclerc that he didn't hit the barrier. Went behind Barry Weatherton, then had the contacts down at the yellow corner with yeah, there we go, for Mustang. Will be lucky for both, I'd say. Hopefully not hopefully not too much curve. So that got me out again. That's a really nice spin there. Really nice big spin there from Will Bajor, but just seeing so much, drama all throughout. Because, as I said, Will Bajor had that incident, went down the third, then had the incident with the Ford Mustang, which then resulted in him dropping down to fifth. So he's going to make up a lot of time here. He's 5 seconds behind Alan Axon. Oh no, this is Dan Reid. My apologies. Dan Reid is 5.5 behind Alan Axon. He's got a big gap to chase. It's the LMGT3s. It's Lexus from Corvette from Mercedes, from Lexus, Corvette, Aston Martin, Ferrari, Porsche. Or that is your current order. They're just about under halfway through in their virtual energy tank. We make pit stops around about. Ooh, it's a sad as a drive-through penalty for track limits, it seems. So that is a very easy thing to do because there's so many different places on this circuit where you can exceed track limits. I'm thinking of the exit of Camporello. I'm thinking about Villeneuve as well. The exit of Tosa, Pedicella, Ravazza, Acqua Minerale is most definitely in the place. They're pretty much everywhere. It's one of those ones where you can't really escape. I've had a few times on Imola where I've gone over track limits, and it's it hasn't ended well. I think I'm surprised the steering wheel hasn't been thrown off a balcony. Looks to me now, as we continue to tick down almost half an hour into this race, and it has been chaotic to say the least. We've lost Elias Assad, we've lost Michael Woods, we've lost Jake Christie in the LMP2 we've also lost Yakir Rokash in the LMP2s. And then Tom Mold comes in with 4 laps down. Multiple of chaos throughout this one. Now look to Nina Shearer, who I want to give a bit of a applause to, because that Corvette has been absolutely mighty far. I'm singing quite a lot of praises, but he's currently stuck in the middle of a Corvette in front and a Lexus in behind. He's trying to chase down Palella for that second place, but does he have the pace? I'm not entirely sure. I'm not really being able to see times at the moment comparing the two. Just be best lap and last lap would just be telling me a fraction of the story. But Ben Oliver continuing to push on here. He's really good in the straight. These two is having a really similar kind of output here. Their front engine, you know, they're really, really good over curves. It's just about Ben Oliver being a lot quicker. Nina Shearer having really, really good racecraft from what we can see in these opening in this opening stage of the race. Outside goes Ben Oliver. And this is going to be a really, really hard fought battle then. Ben Oliver's going to be on the outside here for Ravazza, so he's going to duck in behind, and that's going to be Dean Weatherston about to approach these two. So this is going to get pretty leery, I think, between. So let's just stay on this for now, because yeah, there's going to be 3 cars going into one corner. It's not going to maybe end well for one person. We've had multi-class battles that have probably gone 4 wide and somehow managed to get away scot-free. So there goes one of the Weatherston dispatching both the cars. There's going to be a little bit of frustration there for Ben Oliver, because he could have capitalised on an opportunity. Just happened at the wrong part of the circuit. Now he's looking at the inside for the next part of Ravazza, my apologies. Through they go in towards turn number 17 and in towards 18 onto the brakes here. I think Ben Oliver's wide. He is, and the Mercedes will sweep back on through. It was good play then from Ben Oliver, but now Shearer sits in front, but that might not be too long. Down hard, less than 2/10 of a second. Now a 10th and a half. Now it's just going to be a 10th between the two now. They head their way down in towards Tamburello corner. It's already thrown him onto the outside line, but he's got to try and put that nose on the inside, which he absolutely does. There's not going to be contact between the two, and very, very lucky that these two are just so good at racing between each other. In the midst of all of this, Tim Patrick has DNF, so we're now down to 15 cars out on the racetrack. We started with 19. Almost a quarter of the cars out of the race. The most situation. We'll see if this is a replay of what's happened to Tim Patrick, and it is. This is the number 25 in the CLX. He's gonna. Oh no, sorry. This is Chuck Ritalik in the number 7. So on the exit now, I think it's just maybe going to go past Tim Patrick. Yeah, because there's an overtake apparently. Yeah, Tim Patrick has made an error, I think. Then just retired it there and then. Back to Lena Shearer and Ben Oliver then. In the battle for 3rd place. There is Glyn Chesterton in behind. Now, I think there'll be a little bit of a frustration there for Lewis Shearer, because there was Roberto Palella in front of him, who was losing quite the touch with between the two. It's been opened up to 5 seconds, but really, really push in the free air. Ben Oliver will make his way into the pit lane. This is going to be a really interesting one because he's the first one to make his way into the pit lane, so he'll just completely top up his virtual energy tank. Will he change the tires around? I'm not too sure about that one. Usually he'll be on the stilt. There we go. He's just being moved now, but this is an incident with Dennis Van Eyck. Barrier, would you like to go out on a date? No, sister. Yeah. And Dennis Van Eyck going, oh well, I'll just ask another barrier out then. Rear brakes are glowing red hot. Not sure what is going on there then. That is a very, very strange one. With before with the port, it does look like the they are very much still burning red hot. I'm sure they'll start to cool down as he heads his way up the hill. We'll try and grab a shot where it's on the outside. And there you go. They're going to go bright red hot again. It just seemed like his brake discs are slightly closed, and that's why they continue to maintain heat. You see it just glowing orange once again. It's a fantastic sight. I mean, don't get me wrong. If this was a night race, we'd be oaring at that car the entire race. I don't think there would be. Would be going through a lot of a multitude of sounds would be happening coming from the Apex and Chill, the Apex and Chill Discord. Apex and Chill, the name, if that was the case. And towards then Ravazza, we ride with Ben Oliver because, of course, he's made his way into the pit lane. In comes Louis Shearer. Louis Shearer has made his way into pits in his Mercedes. So he's now going to be overtaken here because there was a car in there. That was Adam Reid. Already about to now. I'm not seeing a Mercedes. There goes Ben Oliver. The undercut has worked. So Shearer manages to get ahead of that leg to stop clear air and extra speed with the tyres and the field he has. Shearer, but I just see he's nailed this. I wonder if also Ben Oliver's been caught in a bit of traffic as well, because one little bit of traffic and that may have just cost him. Just have a look at the replay. Yeah, there was a car off in the distance. And now I'm starting to see it on the YouTube stream. Oops, someone's gone off. That's going to be one of the Weatherspoons, I think. Is that going to be Weatherspoon? It is. Team Weatherspoon's had a bit of an off. That was very lucky. You can go back and have a look at it on the YouTube broadcast. He definitely had an off down there at Ravazza. Ravazza again. Trust myself. No, it's Piratella. Yes, I'm being laughed at. There we go. The first gets slated laugh is coming. I will say that it is. I've been doing this for multiple years, and I still get it confused. I think the way I need to remember it is, it's got river in it, so down in a sense. So bit of that downhill. I remember it, and then Piratella. I don't know, it might be me Hill in Italian, but of course I'm not very fluent in Italian. Otherwise, I'm sure Monza or Magello would be picking me up by now. My emails. freelance jobs aside, there goes Dean Weatherton getting past the pink Porsche off the exit of Aqua Minerale on both cars, but it just seems like for now Weatherton is in a really, really good spot. The back of that chicane truly is pushing to the limit here. We could be ending up with a Weatherton 1-2, which would be a very, very happy Weatherton household. I'm sure they'll be popping champagne till the sunrise. Look here to Ben Oliver, who has gone up through. Well, of course, had a pit stop. Still trying to chase down Louis Shearer, but we of course remember Louis Shearer had to get the car up to temps before then being able to get to its kind of optimal working temperature. Well, temperature has now happened. Being kind of now for the next domino to fall. I really sense that there will be some really, really strong second half stints here. Oliver looked to continue to push on forward, but you know, will he be able to get past Louis Shearer? Sorry, Lena Shearer. Oh my goodness me, Lena Shearer by the end of the race. Is going to be continuing to really home in. We do have a really interesting situation. Andy Winters is about to make his way into the pit lane to finish off his first stint. Then we've got Palella, who's got another lap here. 5 seconds is the difference between the two. To wonder if it's worth Palella coming into the pits now, topping up on his virtual energy, and then seeing if he can get past Andy Winters. The undercut has worked here through this Shearer. It's just about, does he try it on that really, really quick lecture? Right on board here with Andy Winters, who will be coming into the pits very, very shortly. Down at Piratella we go. Ravazza. Major has had a moment there in the Inter-Europol car, so I wonder if he's lost it down at the second part of Ravazza. It is the second part of Ravazza. Whoa! Car goes around. Is a very, very strange one. No idea what happened there. That was a very close one there. It's the Iron Lynx Proton. It's left to go in the race, and we'll be focusing here on the lead of the race. I wonder if Riccardo Palella, my apologies, has the opportunity to go for a win here, but it's one of those where you might have to try something different. Towards the left-hander of Teller. We've got to be pushing the ever-living daylights out of your car towards Minerale. Yeah, it just continues to sing for Lella. Not often with the Corvette. Some of these cars. You go on iRacing, there's your usual Ford Mustang, Mercedes, Ferrari. Well, what else is kind of up there at the moment? But you never really see. You see like maybe one Corvette in there, but it's nice to have two here in LMU. Which is ours, and I think that might be a pit stop there for the Lexus down into the pit box for Andy Winters. So he has chosen to be the first man into the box then. So this could be the overcut here. Sorry, my apologies. I think I've been working on the jokes too hard that I've been forgetting what's happened in the race. Palella goes a little bit wide off the exit of turn 3 of Tamburello. This overcut could be the dice will be rolled. Could very much be the game changer. 4-1-2 Palella El Figueredo. I think coming across the line. He has done because he's passed out Andy Winters. Winters will now come out the pits ahead of Dennis Van Eyck. I think he's just going to be in the path of an LMP2 heading into Tamburello corner. There he is. Then you'll see Tom Mould. Whoa, that's going to be Dennis Van Eyck just in the background going straight on. Taking the World Rally Championship line. Sir, you are not in a World Rally Championship car. You know which game to go through for that one. But yeah, now Tom Mould behind the Lex. This should be nice and simple. No need to... No hold-ups in this case. TP coming in. Good evening. Had issues again, Carl. Think I'm done with streaming. Just going yo race. Tim coming into the stream. Timmy P. Just going to race. To see you next time out then in a week's time, but so all the what's happening, I'm not too sure that's where it's going. I think he'll happily sit one out with next time, and I think he'll maybe in 2 weeks' time and think, yeah, I didn't miss this at all. Shearer still holding off Ben Oliver, but Oliver has closed up here with the ever pressure he's continued to put on that Mercedes. At some point, I feel like Linus Shearer is set to crack. Talik is now in P5 now. So will Bajor take him for 5th place? Talik will drop to 6th. Will Tom Mould get past him? Probably not, but he's just out there to collect some points. Missing points. It's a name I haven't heard in a while. Oh, that's an opportunity there. Ben Oliver. Through he goes. Will there be a Mercedes up the inside? No, I don't. No, I don't think so. He's still batting away. But they're still side by side on the road. What's Pinatella? Ben Oliver wanted another go here. Is he going to go a bit too wide? Because that was some movements from Alexis. As Palella will now come into pit lane. We have a look now at Andy Winters, who's been overtaken by some of the LMP2s here. He won't be overtaken by Dennis Van Eyck. Trying to use everything he's got in terms of the performance of that Lexus. In comes Matt Haskins as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on both of those LMGT3s. Tom Mould goes in second, the fastest lap. 132.3, so he will still be in 7th for quite a while. It's going to be the crucial point here. Andy Winters will be moving his way towards that start-finish line. Palella will now be heading his way down to pit exit. Is there a car on the right? Is there a car on the right? There it is! But it's still not enough for Palella. He closes but he's still trying to get up to speed. Then he'll have to try and get the tyres into a position where they're extremely warm. But he's closed the gap, but it's not exactly the amount he wants. Villeneuve will be Andy Winters. I wonder now if Rafael Figueiredo is going to be heading his way into the pits. That's a wide moment there for Paletta because there is an inter-Europol car on that inside line. And now he's going to hope that he's going to do the exact same down to Andy Winters. There's one place he wants that overtake done is going into Aqua Minerale. And that's exactly what might just happen. Will he off-put the Lexus? Maybe. In fact, I think he has. I think he's off-put that Lexus by quite a couple of tenths. 2.2 is the gap. So definitely a gain for Roberto Palella. Very similar, but 0.3 of a second in the favour of Roberto Palella. Is he doing that lap consistently? Don't know. Comes Linus Shearer. Just rolls the tongue better, but yeah, sorry, Linus. I think he'd be named, have the same name as an IndyCar driver that decides to go to put up to the racetrack with his helmet and gloves, just not to race. In comes Dan Eicher into the pits. That unleashes Linus Shearer again. Ben Oliver will now look to forward down towards the chicane then. These two stay out of each other's way. Rafael Figueiredo continue for another lap, but things are just continuing to heat up this LMGT3 battle. Since they've had a relaxed day, have they so? Second, then Barry. Changes between the two. Bella still wants to on forward. He's now closing that gap here to. Well, no, that's the that's the gap there to Shearer. We're still lacking a little bit of time here to up. 25 minutes left to go of the session. It's now going to be warm for the remainder. So if anyone was really lacking in the first stint, they should be better in the second stint. If their car does like hotter temperatures, they're going to be absolutely soaring as there goes the AO racing car going through of Dan Reid. Stay out the battle of that one. Oh, I think Reid's had an issue there, and then look at that. That's going to be Palella. Now the battle for the lead opens up 4.5 seconds. That's up the second, third, and fourth. Figueiredo comes into the pit lane. Pirello corner. This now opens up a whole new kettle of fish. It's going to go crazy. Then Dan Reid having a big old moment out of Tamburello. Wonder, or was that, when did Tamburello? Back onto the track. No instance there. There goes Linus Shearer trying to get the exit on towards Piratella. He ducks in behind the Corvette and thinks there's better place to overtake that Corvette. Got to do it, I feel, because pace has just been unbelievable. Half that Corvette right to the mercy Oliver, and there's an opportunity to be losing in here. You can see the bouncing there from Dan Reid. That would IRL would have harmed the undertray of the floor there. We're very lucky we're in simulation for pace towards the Ravazza and on the brakes, the 100-meter board. And there goes a wide moment for Palella. Will he try the inside line? Just about getting the exit for Lina Shira. Will now use the Citroen and his big, powerful V8, but is it faster than the Corvette? I don't think. I think Palella is slightly pulling away. Maybe 2/10 down this straight. Figueredo makes his way into the pit lane as well. He'll look to come out in fifth place, and I wonder if he's now going to have his opportunity to cast his way into the battle with this one. Now, Lina Shira gets an opportunity, and I think Paletta's going to have to go defensive here down into what the Vilna chicane, unless he tries to go very defensive here. He keeps that nose in, and I think, look at this, Ben Oliver has a first-class ticket this battle. Will he get involved in it? I don't think so. I think he's going to have to do it in the last 10 minutes. Forward to sit still, save the tires, save the energy, save the fuel, and going after the pair of these two. The background, that's going to be Chuck Metallic in the Obsidian Racing colours. For Palella, he's just inviting the door, and at some point someone is going to prise open that door. Will Lina Shira go ahead? No, he doesn't. A little bit of straight line speed as Palella towards and about the wall head now. Does Lina Shira decide to send it up the inside because he's being frustrated behind the rear end of Palella? He's been so strong on the brakes. Again, you're just seeing the lack of confidence there. There's the opportunity. The open well, the door is prized open, I should say. Now we see cars going at it. It's stupid, the Corvette about to get given a lifetime opportunity here. But look at also Ben Oliver. This must be 3 wide going down towards Tamburello corner. This is very, very inviting. Ben Oliver is going to try and push the Corvette around the outside. They're side by side going in towards Tamburello. Don't touch onto the curb. No, the Mercedes, they're touching through Tamburello. Down towards Villeneuve. What does Ben Oliver do? He's going to try and push the Mercedes, who looks to go for the gap here. Round the outside, go Palella. That's a beautiful move. But it'll be the switch here from Lina Shira, who will now try and be on the brakes as late as he possibly can around the outside. He opted to try and just brake a little bit earlier. See if Palella will try and go into a battle of the brakes and lose out. But it just seemed like it was all worked out well for the Corvette, for the Mercedes. And now Ben Oliver will be thinking, at what point do I make my move here? This is one of the fastest games of chess you will be playing in the Le Mans Ultimate game. GT3 cars are the absolute pickle. You'll be seeing, this is the racing you get. Most points during this one. Now that we're having it with less than 20 minutes to go, it's a shaking for a lot of people out here. Stuff. But admin can't look away from the screen. The yellow a moment to go there for somebody. Adam Reid. Oh, what has he been involved in this time around? Dan in the Iron Lynx. Oh, he's done a Yuki Tsunoda, but just a lot less velocity. Kenny's been involved in another incident. I wonder if that's Piratella. Ah, he's had a puncture. Puncture on the car. Stop. Yeah, that's going to be disaster there for Dan Reid, and he's going to drop all sorts of positions. He's now going to nurse that car back to pit lane. Now, what's happened to Ben Oliver? Because he has dropped 2 seconds to this battle. So maybe he's worn out the tyres. He either made a mistake or he is saving the car on the tyres have gone off. Lewis Shearer looking to try and see if he can get that Mercedes in the rear view mirrors of Roberto Palella, sorry. That yellow Corvette seems so quick on the straights, but if you are Lina Shearer at this point, what do? You can look at the braking power on that Mercedes. You've just got to try something. Is there really any section of corner you could try? It's down towards Acqua Minerale, but you are very much assured to be sending that car into the side of the Corvette rather than past the Corvette. We'll have a look down in towards Tamburello corner. It's a great place to set up your move. Just going to try and maybe use a different line here. Try and be on power through turn number 3 the whole time. You get that wash of understeer. Now you've got to try and put that to the inside line. But again, just seems like for now, Palella has it covered off. Maybe in towards Toza could be an opportunity. Try and use that outside line. Try and cut back in. That's exactly what he's doing. Get back on power. You now look behind the Palella Corvette. And again, he's got so much acceleration. And this is a problem. Lina Shearer then gaining the braking points. Look, he's sniffing the exhaust fume. Then he's got the opportunity to do it down into that Acqua Minerale. But again, the gap is just going to instantly close. Unless he can do it on that second braking point. It just seems like it does feel like at the moment he's just listening to me. Linus, if you have got the live stream going on, I kind of salute you for that. You're doing a fantastic job. But it just seems like that second part of Acqua Minerale, he's going to have to try something a little bit interesting, to say the least. Maybe risk a penalty. Oh, as he dips a tyre into the gravel. That was definitely oversteering. I felt that car was oversteering just from the visuals that I was being given. But he's pushing so much. Is he being flustered? Is he being flustered by what I'm saying? Maybe at this point I need to shut up. See if he can make the move then. Shearer gets in the rear of Palella. And then, yeah, if he gets right on the back of Palella, and you hear silence for 5 minutes, you probably know why at this point. There go the Weatherstons up the inside. That must be Dean going for it. We'll hope now that Palella is slowed down. Meanwhile, Ben Oliver is now going to cast his fishing rod and hook it to the back of Lina Shearer. See if he can carry that ASP Lexus with him and maybe just nab a P2 with less than 15 minutes left in the race. Gone past 4:30 p.m. in Imola in sim time. So while the temperature actually rises, it's starting to get some real great temperatures here in Imola. The place where the Toro Rosso, Minardi, AlphaTauri, Visa Cash Out Racing Bulls teams seem to be testing for the majority of their Formula One stuff. Every single time you'll see them at least once or twice or 3 times be here for a little bit of a test to shake down their cars. You know, they live, I think, they're basically about an hour away from Imola. Ben Oliver is showing some real strong pace. Remember, he made the cuts to try and pass Lina Shearer. It didn't work. See, great racing tonight. Been great to watch. It has, and especially for those last 2 letters in your username. Nudge, nudge. Broadcast control with a smiley face. Yeah, they know what's going on. But quite a lot of praise. in Apex and Chill Racing. New records. Ow. It's a new record, ladies and gentlemen. Why that is. Of course, Mr. Carl. New record for concurrent viewers. That's what I like to hear. And towards bats up. Consistently. These two cars in such a place. Alan Axton, the yellow, momentarily. What's happened here with the AO racing car? Kane, who's the rear? Out. There you do it. Maybe not that one. Much rear ends. So the P2 is a little bit calmer time around. So one that Lena Shearer is doing the tactic. Ben Oliver and just I'm going to back off for a bit. See what happens. If we can attack the final 5 minutes. Dan Reid highlighted in a yellow flag. And at this time, the Shane spins it out of the barrier. First. Matt Belling. Oh, stop it. I hear you've been talking my Instagram. We'll share that at some point. Palela right through penalty for quick limit. And so is Leon Shearer, Lena Shearer. Oh, these two now have to serve drive-through penalties. Unbelievable stuff in these last 10 minutes. Both they come. In comes Skip. Chesterton is coming into the pit well. Glinton in there. This is going to be quite the interest. Will now lift Ben Oliver into second, make it a Lexus 1-2. Phil Figueredo now makes his way into third. And Shearer will now be battling for 5th and 6th on the road. A fall they've had in 30 seconds. This has gone from the contested battle to what's happened. What could it be? Pit time. The only spicing there was probably Lena smelling the rear end of Palela. You can only get away with LMU. Not to any of our guys going into court, do we? Can Ben Oliver catch Andy Winters? Last lap around, we didn't catch Randy Winters, but do a 45 on the dot. See if Ben Oliver catch Andy Winters, but I think with 9 minutes left to go, asking for quite a lot. Or 6 seconds flat, which again is not possible, but probably. My maths are maths. There's one person you don't want doing your maths, it's a commentator. Unless somebody is out there, an Excel spreadsheet or a pen and paper, it's not worth really looking for. Ben Oliver getting all sorts of We have been looking at Rafael Figueredo have been around anyone in the last, well, in the second stint. Get a third place here. There you go. Time for our Rafael Ficuerdo. The likes to hear me say Lexus fuel tanks is Matt Belling. Singing low, as if that Lexus has got pretty chunky fuel tank. Needs it because it is a thirsty boy. Fuel into that those engines. 7.5 minutes left to go. It's been a pretty quick tail. LMP2s. That fleet has not changed, I think, for a single time. It's just been Dean Weatherson from Lights the Flag. But the LMP GT3 has just been superb. Sick and faster. And Andy Winters, got a race predictor on here. 2 laps. Ben will be on Andy last lap. This could get all sorts interesting. It is Andy Winters. He can get that under a second. Just over a second, I'd say. By the time we hit the start-finish line, that would be a grand success. Go to the Apes and Chill Racing League. Make yourself a new subscriber. Patella, it just seems like Ben Oliver is in those wheel tracks of Andy Winters, and I wonder if Andy is just saving in the minute. Well, it may not. With that large, goodness me, we could be very well doing that until it gets within a second and you'll start to push. Wait till that gets under a second, then we'll see if Andy Winters has something in his back pocket that he's been saving throughout this entire second stint. And he's being held up a little bit down at the Rivazza corner. See what the time is between the two. Comes Winters over the timing line. Last lap time will come up. Hops 44.4. And Oliver. This got very close to his fastest lap. 1.1 seconds. So very much correct. Someone has been reading the numbers really, really well. I completely missed what happened to Patella. But the story with Roberto Patella is that when we went to a replay, we joined back and it flashed on the screen that he got a drive-through penalty. Drive-through penalty happened for Patella. Then he's joined by Leon. Now he's made his way into the pit lane. I think is out of this race. I think what you've missed here is called a game of rage quit. We're going to say skill issue. I think that's a little bit too harsh there, but yeah, Palella is he's decided to call it a day then. This is going to be a right to the end, but look at Ben Oliver's virtual energy. 17%. The Lexus, he will be able to make it to the end. My goodness me, is it going to be a thriller? The two Lexus drivers. It was Andy Winters on pole position at the start. As will be gone. I think Ben put fresh tyres on. Too tired. Or yeah, so the story at the moment is Winters has no tyres. He has got to defend for all that he can. Ben Oliver put fresh on, and he is gunning for his partner in crime, and rival on the racetrack. Through the Villeneuve chicane, on towards Toza. Will Ben Oliver search for that outside line? Because Winters will have nothing to defend with. Timing on the left-hand side, just over 2.5 minutes left to go. Where do you make your move? Will it be down towards Acqua Minerale? I don't think so. Has to be Tamburello, I feel. Yes, he can pressurize Andy Winston into a mistake, lure him into a false sense of security. Of course, as a racing driver, Ben Oliver will take no risks and do it probably at the earliest possible opportunity. Hear those V8s growling away in front of both of those engines. And it's absolutely glorious to hear. Here they go in towards Ramazza. The Winters has opened up a gap. Now is he starting to push? Is he now starting to unleash what he has left in those tyres? It's just gone past 5 p.m. here in Imola. The sun will be starting to set on what has been a glorious race. But in towards Tamburello corner will potentially be the penultimate time this race. Will these two go into battle again? There is definitely a sense of overtaking at some point during the race. I don't know where Dean Weatherston is. He at the moment is leading this race. He's now heading into the Villeneuve chicane. He's going to be the one spearhead who when this race will end. It is Dean Weatherston behind the Obsidian racing car of Chuck Retallick, hoping to might finish off this race soon, but there you go. Retallick getting his way through. So this could get very, very close here. We had a nice finish, I believe, last time around at Laguna Seca. And we had the leader of the LMP2 and the winner of the LMP2 class crossing over the line at the same time. I don't believe we're going to be getting the exact same again, but look at the time, 30 seconds left on the clock. So next time around will be the last lap. Winters from Oliver, 0.8 of a second, but I wonder if Ben Oliver has used all of his tyres. Right on board now with Oliver. And you can just see in the rearview mirror, there is Dean Weatherston coming right behind him. He'll go on through. Maybe see if we can grab a little bit of a toe from the LMP2 momentarily. Be a bit of frustration creeping in for Ben Oliver. Or is it that false sense of hope? Comes the Iron Link's Proton car. The number 9 to now attack and get past both of these Lexuses onto the final lap of the race. Mistake there from Andy Winters. Winters will go defensive. Ben Oliver will try the outside line in towards the Villeneuve chicane up the inside. But there's contact between the two. They're sideways and off the road goes Andy Winters. There goes Ben Oliver to take the lead. Andy Winters will have nothing to respond with. What could have got very, very ugly, getting these two LMP2s involved in the battle. This is where it's going to start falling away now for Andy Winters. But what an incredible end to this one. Who would have predicted this to start all of it? We might have a quick look at what happened between the two. So on the outside line, Ben Oliver tries to swoop it in. Winter was just stuck there. He didn't know that he was still there. Contact between the two. I'm not going to lay blame at anyone's foot mat. But towards the start-finish line, and Dean Weatherston will take victory here in Imola. We catch him now, and it's a win for Dean Weatherston. Where is his partner in crime? Well, hopefully coming up very, very soon. We'll switch quickly to Ben Oliver because he will win the GT3 class. It's a Lexus 1-2. followed by Rafael Figueredo in the Corvette. It will be Edison in second place. It's Tom Mould to finish off his race. Down in seventh with the fastest lap. And we here Alan Axon take home third place in the LMGT3 class, the LMP2 class. Out of that final corner, Axon will claim a podium here in Imola. What a way to do it. Oh, has already crossed the line. Just waiting for Van Eyck coming through in towards Ravazza in his Porsche. This still glowing bright orange. Nice Klingenberg coming in with what an amazing final laps in the LMGT3 class. I completely agree. That may have been some of the best racing we saw all throughout the season. So here are your results then. It's David Weatherson. Sorry for calling you Dean the entire race. With Barry Weatherson coming home in second. Alan Axon in third with Will Bajor. And Chuck Ritalik with Dan Reid and Tom Mould in seventh. It's Ben Oliver, your winner in the LMGT3 class, with Andy Winters, who was a lap away from victory, with Rafael Figueredo in P10. Third in the LMGT3s, it's Matt Haskins from Lena Shearer with Dennis Van Eyck, with Glenn Chesterton 3 laps down. It's a did not finish for Craig Needham, for Roberto Palella, Tim Patrick for Elias Assad, Michael Woods, Yakir Rokash, who have retired very early on with a crash at Pitatella, Josh Christie, Ilian Volkart, and then no turn-ups for Gale, Link, Rules, Jackson, Badamosi, Aceman, Homadol, and Klompstra. So that seals the end of this round here at Imola, but we will be back come the next round. So we'll see you in a week's time when the LMGT3s and the LMP2s will head to the next round of the circuit. This will be at the incredible Daytona. You'll be using their road course for that one, the home of the 24 hours of Daytona. So be sure to join us for more incredible LMU action. But for now, take care. We'll see you.